It's the last night of the quarterfinals, and after this, bring back classic Jeopardy! Welcome to the final wager. I'm William Weyser. With the exception of James Holzhauer easily winning his quarterfinal game, my predictions and me being convinced of things haven't been going so well. But let's hope for a miracle from tonight's game. Not even close. Ryan took a big stab on a true daily double, didn't work out. And since he is only 4,000, the bad news for him is that he doesn't have enough to cover the fourth place wildcard score right now, which is 10,597 by Josh Hill. And Ryan can only get up to 8,000, so one game in and he's done. Sorry, Ryan, but at least you tried. However, because of this, the good news for Rachel is that her score of 13,601 is good enough for a wildcard spot. And speaking of wildcard spots, the only person that we have to worry about when it comes to that, well, for this game is Steven. He has 9,200, and he does have enough to take him above 10,597 and get a spot as one of the wild cards in the semifinals. But there are only two things that he must do, and he doesn't know this, of course. One, he has to wager no less than $1,397. And two, and most importantly, he has to get it right. And Francois, great job, man. You're just dominant throughout the entire game, 34,300. Of course, he doesn't need to do anything because he's got his semifinal spot locked up. But honestly, I would wager $43 to get that 3-4-3-4-3 pattern. But I don't know if he's going to do that. And Steven, well, it's all up to him. I'd say all of it at most, and at least either 1,400 to get just barely above 10.6, or 5,800, or whatever he likes. But I'd say all of it. I'd say all of it for sure. So let's see what happens in this last quarterfinal game. Ryan got it right and wagered everything, doubling his score to 8,000, which is the exact same score that Eric R. Backus finished with, but Eric is going to finish ahead of Ryan because he had the higher score heading into final. The pressure's on to Steven, who also got it right and went for everything as well. So Steven's in for one of the wild cards with 18,400. Sorry, Josh. And Francois made it another triple solve and stood pat. So congratulations, Francois, on the win. Congratulations to Steven, who takes the final wild card spot. And Rachel, as I said, has clinched his spot in the wild cards before Final Jeopardy even happened. And this means, unfortunately, for Josh Hill and Ryan Fenster, they get bumped off. And with 10,597, Josh Hill gets to be the unfortunate alternate, which I know is terrible, but somebody has to be in that position. So, what I've done here is I've shown you, or I've written down the amounts of money that the eliminated quarterfinalists are going home with. For Alan Dunn, because he had the lowest score among the eliminated players, his grand total is $127,802. For Rob Warman, it's $139,900. Sure, it's $100 short of $140,000, but at least that's way more money than he won on The Weakest Link and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire combined. So, Now, Anarchy, it's $110,497. For Ryan Fenster, it's $164,497. For Eric R. Backus, it's $112,602. And finally, Josh Hill, it's $169,721. So, that's the amount of money that our 6 eliminated quarterfinalists are going home with. But as for the remaining players, the automatic semifinalists are Gilbert Collins, Dhruv Gar, James Holzhauer, Emma Betcher, and Francois Barcomb. The four wildcard semifinalists, are Stephen Gray with 18,400, Kyle Jones with 16,800, Lindsay Schultz with 14,000, and Rachel Lindgren with 13,601. And those are your 9 semifinalists. And I have a feeling that next week is going to be a really exciting week. 9 semifinalists playing for $250,000 for the winner. There's also $100,000 for second place and $50,000 for third place. And the 6 eliminated semifinalists will go home with $10,000 each. So, I'm sure that next week is going to be really exciting. And then after that, I'll be off to write Jeopardy! The Musical. So, we'll see what happens on Monday for our first semifinal game. And join me on Monday to take apart the first semifinal game. And I'll see you next week on The Final Wager. Bye, everyone.